Alrighty, we're going to try to create a simple running animation. The running animation is going to look something like this. There are multiple resources in the classroom to show you guys how to get to this step if you guys wanted to create your own. But I'm going to give us this rough template of a running animation, and we're just going to try to fill in our own characters using this. This is going to be really hard. They're not going to look the best. They're not going to look perfect. But it's a first. It's a first little animation. They don't have to look perfect. They don't have to look the best. I'm going to start by going to these layers, and I can see that there's a different layer for each body part. We're going to do that in a second, but first we're going to just create a basic template of our character. Again, it's going to be our first ever character, so it's not going to look good. I'm going to do my example. My example is going to be an axolotl character. In my game, I'm going to have a little axolotl running around. So I'm going to start by drawing over this template, but I'm going to change the proportions a little bit and change some details a little bit so that he looks like an axolotl. I'm going to grab a reference image for whenever I'm doing art, so I have something to kind of compare what I'm working on to. And maybe that might be the proportions, that might be, other details, but maybe it's the colors. But I'm going to grab this reference image and I'm going to put it to the side. And I'm going to try to make an axolotl character. The first thing is I want to do like a pink theme, and I want each body part to be a slightly different color. So I'll just start by picking a pink for each body part. And let's do like the back leg darker, back arm darker, and then let's do lighter for the front stuff, and I'll go even lighter for the head, and I'll go somewhere in the middle for the body. Okay, those will be the colors that I use for my sprite. So each different body part will be a different color. And then I'm going to start maybe detailing it and changing some of the details to make it more like what I want. So my guy has a blue eye. I'll include that. Maybe that eye should be bigger. That eye has a black dot in the middle. Yeah, that could be my eye. Let me try some slightly different eyes. Let me look up pixel art eyes. I'm just curious. Oh, these are really detailed. These are what I'm looking for. So just a color, a dot above it, and then so let me try that. Let's try. So he has blue eyes, and then and then these guys do a black dot above it, and then a gray dot to the left, and a white dot below is how that guy does eyes. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. I see that. That looks kind of like an eye. I'm going to use that eye. And he also has these fin things coming up. I'll do those head colored. No, I won't. I'll do those left arm colored, just so I can see them better against his head. And I'm just going to add 3 of those. Okay. And his body is kind of narrow. I'm going to narrow this body down a lot. My character will be really thin. Right now the default sprite is a big fat guy. That's maybe a little too thin. Let's give him a little body at the side. And then let's bring these arms down a little. And maybe I'll make his... Oops, I lost the colors of my arms. I forgot what color I was doing them. And yeah, I'm going to make his arms... I want to kind of get these funky claw finger things in, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Let's just do... normal arm. I don't know. I'll just keep the arm kind of like how it was. And this is really basic, but if you guys are artists and you guys want to do a much more detailed thing, you can. For now, I think I'm just going to leave my guy at this. I could do a little bit of maybe shading, so I could grab a color and I could make it slightly darker, and then like shade the bottom. Same thing for the head. I could grab the color from the head. I could make it slightly darker, and then at the bottom of the head, whoops, I could make it slightly darker, and then on the bottom of the head I could draw that color, and that's too dark. So I'm going to grab the color from the head. I'm going to make this color just a little darker, and then I could color things in like that to kind of put some shadows in. But that's a lot of details. You don't have to do that. All right, this is going to be the rough idea for my character. Maybe I'll do the same thing for his legs. Maybe I'll do like just a little slight shading under them. So I'm making the colors darker. And maybe this will roughly be my character. And I can do more details later. I can change things up as I'm going. But for now, this will be the idea for my character. Now, what I want to do is I want to delete this guy. So I'm going to select all of this and then press delete. No, that didn't work. I'll just grab an eraser. I don't want to make things too complicated. I'm just going to erase this guy from the other frames, and I will copy my guy over. Now, make sure not to change anything with the other frames except for this. If you do something like delete a frame, you're going to mess up the other layers where we have the animation drawn. So just do it this way. Don't make things complicated. So we drew a character. I'm going to create this basic little template that I could follow. And then I'm going to start trying to animate my character into the other frames. I'm going to use rectangular selection. I'm going to select my guy. I'm going to hit Control-C to copy him. And then Control-V in each frame to just paste him in. And this will just be my default layer. Now when I'm animating, I can see kind of what my guy is supposed to look like while I'm animating him. I'm going to turn visibility on. And I'm going to start drawing the animation layers. I'll start with his head. So his head in each frame is in a different spot. I'm going to grab my guy's head. I'm going to do a rectangular selection on my guy's head. I'm going to hit Control-C to grab it. I'm going to go to the head, and I'm going to hit Control. First of all, I'm going to move it over where the head's supposed to be, and I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to go to the next frame. I'm going to move it to where the head's supposed to be, and I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to move it to the next frame. I'm going to move my thing over, and I'm going to hit Control-V to paste it in. And I'm just going to do this for each of the heads. I'm going to paste in my character's new head. And then maybe we'll do some slight changes to detail him a little bit. But already, if we go to our preview, we'll see that we've started animating our character. It's starting to look more like our character. I'm going to do some cleanup. I'm going to grab the eraser. And I'm going to erase this extra orange pixel from almost every frame. And I'm going to add some movement to these little things on his head. So we'll say that when he's popping up, these things will be kind of bending down. And when he's at the bottom of his jump, which is maybe down here as at his lowest point, they'll be straight up. So let's try that. Let's make them drooping down when he's popping up. And then when his head is lower, they'll be up more. Let's see if that looks, oh, whoops, I deleted a frame. That's the worst thing we can do. Make sure to hit Control-Z if you accidentally delete a frame. So when it's low, these should go basically straight up. And then when its head is high, they should bend down. Let's see if that is readable in the animation at all, or if I'm wasting my time doing that. It's okay-ish. Just gotta clean it up a little bit more. It's too exaggerated. It should just be a slight change. Okay, it looks pretty good. Now his spike things are kind of bouncing as he runs. Yeah, that looks fine. I'll leave all of that as it is. So that's the head for my character for the animation. I switched out all of these heads with my character's head. Now I'll do the same thing with the body. I'll go to my default. I'm gonna use rectangular select, and I'm gonna select my body. I'm gonna Control C to copy. I'm gonna go to the body here, and I'm gonna hit, oh, whoops. Oh, don't hit Control C to copy. Make sure you're selecting the rectangle tool. Click and drag to select. Oh, no, not the rectangle tool, the rectangular selection tool. Click and drag to select. Control C to copy. And then I'm gonna go to body, and I'm gonna hit Control V to paste. And I will center this body on each of these bodies. Control V to paste. Control V to paste. Control V to paste. Actually, I need to move this each time. Control V to paste up here. Move this down a little. Control V to paste down here. Move this up one. Control V to paste. Move this maybe up and back one. Control V to paste. Move this over and down a little. Control V to paste. Move this way down. Control V to paste. And move this up. Control V to paste. Okay, so now I'm putting in my character's body. And I gotta take my eraser tool, and I'm gonna hide the other layers for a second. I'm just gonna erase all of this red. Don't need any of that. I have an extra pink pixel from the legs, don't need that. And this will be my body. My body doesn't match up with my head perfectly right now. So I will turn my layer examiner thing back on, and I will just look where my head is and make sure that something's connecting my body to my head each frame. So in my preview, yeah, there's a couple of places where my body and my head aren't exactly touching. It's just this frame actually. So I'm just gonna grab this with rectangular selection. Whoops, that's rectangle again. Rectangular selection, and I'll hold shift to move it, and I'll drag it up to my head, and I'll press Control V to paste it in. And now it should be pretty good. And now I need to do the arms and legs, which are the hardest part. So I'm gonna do my front arms first, and then I'll do show us a trick to do my back arms. So one thing is I want it to mirror what's shown here as best I can. I'm also gonna grab the color for my back arm. I'm gonna do my back arm. I want to mirror what's here, but I want to connect it to my body. So we want to kind of have the same motion. So this back arm should start at my body, and it should maybe be going back a little bit. And then this, oh, this is called a smear. So I gotta do this one first actually. So this should be like swinging down from my body. So I'll draw that. So this is like swinging down in front of me. And then before this on frame 2, we have a smear from here to here. We're moving very far very quickly. So we do a big smear of pixels going across in the color of that arm, which doesn't have to be super precise. And it's completely covered up by the other arm, so we can't actually see it. And then here, so this is obviously not connected to the body, so we want this kind of motion, but like at our shoulder. So we'll do, swinging up from here. And I'll erase the old one. And now this is a smear back. So I'm going to erase this smear. I know that it's going to be a smear. So I'm just going to smear it from, this is like motion blur kind of. And then I have my arm back here. So from my back shoulder, kind of going back this way. And then maybe this can be from my back shoulder. Maybe he's balling his fist a little more. And then from my back shoulder, maybe it's starting to come down a little bit. And I will erase all of those green parts from the kind of demonstration. And now that green arm in our demo is going to be gone, and we'll have I was zoomed in, I couldn't see some green pixels. And we'll have this purple arm in the back, which looks like it's moving really nicely. And now I'll do the other arm. And actually the front arm is going to be really easy, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase everything. I don't need anything from here. And we're just going to copy our back arm into our front arm. We're just going to copy. We already did an arm. We don't need to do another arm. So we're going to go to our front arm. We're going to go to our back arm. We're going to magic select. We're going to click. We're going to Control C to copy. We're going to go to front arm. This was our first frame of our back arm. Our first frame is going to be our 5th frame. Our second frame is going to be our 6th frame. Our third frame is going to be our 7th frame. Our 4th frame is going to be our 8th frame. And then our 5th frame is going to be our 1st frame. Our 6th frame is going to be our 2nd frame. Our 7th frame is going to be our 3rd frame. And our 8th frame is going to be our 4th frame. That's how we flip the arms for the other side. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to copy this. So arm number 1, shape selection. I'm going to click on a shape that I want to copy. Then I'm going to go to front arm, and it's number 1, so I'm going to copy 1 into 5. Front arm goes into 5. I'm going to go to back arm. I'm going to go to 6. 6 goes to 2, so I'm going to use shape selection. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit Control C to copy. And then in front arm, 6 goes to 2. Hey, 5 goes to 1. What's going on here? This shouldn't be here. 5. Shape select. I want to select. There we go. Select. Control C. That goes to 1. Back arm. Oh, we were doing 1 to 6. That's what we were doing. I got confused. Okay, 1 goes to 6. 2 goes to. Sorry, 1 goes to 5. If I go to front arm, I have 1 and 5. Back arm. 2 goes to 6. I'm going to copy 2, and I'm going to put it in 6. It's +4 on each number. I'm going to copy 2, and I'm going to put it in 6. I'm going to copy 3, and I'm going to put it in 7. I'm going to copy 8, and I'm going to put it in... I copied 8, I'm going to put it in 4. Where's 7? Back arm. I'm going to copy 7, and I'm going to put it in 3. I'm going to copy 4, and I'm going to put it in 8. Something is wrong. I'm going to copy 5, and I'm going to put it in 1. I'm going to copy 6, and I'm going to put it in 2. Okay, I think everything is done. I think we finished it. So the arms are good. My arms look pretty good. I like my arms being 2 different colors, so I'm just going to go through my front arm, and I'm just going to go to my default guy, and I'm going to take the color I used for that original front arm, and I'm just going to bucket that into my new front arm that I'm using in this animation. So each frame, I'm just going to bucket in the lighter color. Oops, I deleted a frame. That's the worst thing you can do. If you delete a frame, your project is cooked. Okay, now I just need to do the legs, and the arm is blending in with the body, which I don't like. I'm going to make this arm a little lighter. And bucket that in again. Looks a little gray. We'll see how it looks once I'm done. Oh wait, let me hold shift. So if I use this, apply to all layers. Shift, apply to all frames. Okay, I can hold shift to bucket all those at once. Yeah, that's too gray. I'm gonna go back to a lighter pink, and I'm gonna use paint all pixels. I'm gonna hold shift, and I can click every frame at once. Okay, I think this looks pretty fair. Now let's do a leg, and we should almost be done. So again, we want to copy these motions, but using the colors we picked from our default. So I'm going to grab this pink. I'm going to go to my back leg. I'm going to go to my front leg first. Let's do a front leg. Okay. So this just looks like it's pretty straight down. Oops. So I'm doing my front leg, so I'm going to copy these pixels. I'm going to go to front leg. This looks like it's pretty straight down, so I will copy that pretty much. And the next one is pushing back a little. So same thing, I will have mine start pushing that foot back a little. And then this one, his foot's all the way back. And I can start erasing these kind of defaults once I have a motion that I like. And now this one, his foot is getting kicked back. So from here, we're kicking our leg back. And then if you really want to, you could start going through these animation frames and you can add shading to each frame. And then here his leg is kind of coming back in a little. And then here we get a smear. So this is a big motion from our leg, is moving way back over to the front. And then we have our leg kicking out in front of us. And then we're about to plant our leg, and that loops us back to the beginning of the animation. Okay, that smear is really big, but I'm gonna keep it. It's a little exaggerated. No, I'll narrow it down a little bit. So again, that kick forward, that's that smear we drew. So this looks pretty good, and then I'll do one more thing. I just need to do the back leg. And I'm going to be a little lazy here just because I want to wrap up the video. We already saw how to copy. I'm just going to draw over these really quickly, and it's going to be a little sloppy, but I just want to wrap this up. So back leg, I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm going to draw over it and connect it. I'm going to draw over this smear and just scribble over it because it's a smear and smears don't matter. And it's a back leg smear, so it's going to be behind almost everything else. And if we want to, we can make it a lot nicer by adding shading. And there's lots of other stuff we could do, but I'm just going to quickly scribble this back leg in. Okay, and I'm expecting the back leg to look a little bad. That's pretty much my finished animation. I'm going to do one more thing. Now that I'm done, I'm going to delete the default layer, and I'm just going to see my finished animation. So this is my running animation. Obviously, it's not perfect. Obviously, it doesn't look that good, but you know, we have the idea. This is the idea. This is the kind of goal we're shooting for. Everyone's going to try your best at this. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be the best. You guys can add as much detail as you want. Mine was very simple. We're going to do this probably for most of the week. We're going to try to do running animations. We can add other animations as we go. We're probably not going to take class time to do that, but hopefully this is fun. Hopefully everybody enjoys doing this, and that's about it. Do I have any questions? Yeah, let's just take one more look at, this is what we ended with, and this is what we started with. So we took this generic animation and we turned it into my axolotl guy. Now one thing I'm looking at, his body ended up being a little too small compared to his legs and stuff. And that frame right there has a weird red thing that is looking really bad on his back leg. It's on his front leg. This red thing looks really horrible. This is messing up the visual. Yeah, that looks a lot better. His hair could have been done a lot better with the bounce on his hair, but it's also like growing and then receding, which isn't really how it should work. So I'll make it longer on the really short frames. Let me go to his head. That's pretty long. This is too short. So let's just make it a little longer. That's too short. Let's just make it a little longer. That's better. Whatever. And that'll be that. That's going to be the conclusion of this lesson. Good luck, have fun, and if you need help, always reach out.